This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by EarthySelect.com, your source for the finest Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10 THC flower, oils, pre-rolls, vape pens, cartridges, and edibles. Their premium adult use products are crafted from organic cannabis and infused with pure and potent THC extracts for effects you can feel.
Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10 THC products are perfect for relaxing, socializing, and getting creative. Plus, they are hemp-derived and federally legal to ship nationwide. Let's look at some of their more popular goodies. Earthy Select's Delta 8 vape pens are packed with potent Delta 8 THC plus cannabis-derived terpenes. They have a stealthy, ergonomic design that gives you a quick hit, making it perfect for gaming. Each rechargeable pen has 1 gram of Delta 8 THC and is available in 4 great-tasting flavors like Guava Kush, my personal favorite, Cherry Pie. It's super tasty. I love these vapes. Earthy Select also makes THC gummies and candies that are organic, vegan, gluten-free, and taste great. They all come in different strengths, so you can start low and see what's right for you. The Delta 8 gummies can be really relaxing and heady, while the Delta 10 is more associated with feeling productive and creative, so it's great for daytime projects or all-night gaming. The Delta 9 gummies are really impressive. They have real deal Delta 9 THC, and they come in sativa peach or indica mango.
They have a huge variety on the website, so check it out, EarthySelect.com. All of Earthy Select's cannabis products are federally compliant, and they ship nationwide. Order online at EarthySelect.com and use the coupon code CUP20 to save 20% on your first order. No limits. Must be 21 or older. That's EarthySelect.com and use code CUB20 to save 20% on THC. Earthy Select. Select your adventure.
All right.
We got voicemails, Ian. Go to anchor.fm/the CU podcast. Go and leave a voicemail. Keep it short and sweet. Here's the first one.
Hey, Pat and Ian. Thank you for all that you do and telling us like it is. The truth.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Who are you?
Oh, that was Thomas. I got Thomas on there.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Ian. This is John calling from Corpus Christi in South Texas. I was just wondering, since you guys don't talk about homebrews that often, if you have a favorite homebrew game for the NES or SNES, any console like that, or if you don't, maybe there's one that you're aware of and have been wanting to try out. Micro Mages for the NES is absolutely fantastic. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. Thanks, guys.
Haven't played a huge amount. We payed, remember, Super Russian Roulette in the marathon the one time at your place. There's other ones out there like Allah's Awakening look great. That's a D-make, but it's technically a homebrew, but not really.
No, it is. I mean, it's a homebrew.
I mean, it was produced, and
sure.
What's your definition of homebrew? I mean, it's an aftermarket NES game.
Sure.
Any ones you like? You want to talk about?
I've talked about it on here before, and I honestly can't remember its name anymore. But it's a very simple one. It's like called Kung Fu Man or something, and it's a dude who stands in the center of a room.
Okay.
And ninjas start flowing in from the 4 corners, and as long as you're facing the ninjas, you'll kick them. But the whole goal is it's a reaction game, and Lincoln and I have played that so fucking much.
Is it just like score attack? You eventually
it just goes until you can't do it anymore. But I love that game genuinely.
Okay.
Hey fellas, this is Rodney from North Carolina, and I've been playing Mario Kart 8 recently, and I have found myself saying, wow, that was fun several times after playing, multiple tracks. And I was wondering, what games have made you sit back after playing them and be like, wow, that was actually really fun?
Well, I mean, in theory, most games should do that because that's why you play the games. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's like that was enjoyable.
Yeah, Mario Kart definitely. Actually, it's one of those. That's why I have
That's why it's brilliant.
A few hundred hours on that.
That's
game.
why it's sold like 30 million copies.
As angry as it makes me, I'll sit down afterwards and I'll be like, "That's fun." But a game that's really been doing that for me lately, and I've mentioned it a little bit. It's gotten a lot of buzz online. Vampire Survivors. It's such an incredibly fun game. If you're good at it, your runs top out at 30 minutes. Huh?
What type of game is that?
Kind of a newer type of game. They call it an auto battler. So it's top down, and you pick a character, right? And you start with one weapon.
Okay.
So let's say you start up a game of Vampire Survivor. You start with the first guy, I think is Antonio, and he has a whip. And every couple of seconds, he whips. Automatically whips. Okay. You move the character around this top-down screen, and you kill enemies. And enemies will drop experience. So you pick up the experience.
I've seen this before being played. Okay.
Every level, you can add a new weapon or upgrade a weapon or add like a skill ability, and they max out at 6 for each.
Okay.
Early on. And basically, it's the fun of playing something like...
It's a run and gun shooter, kind of, but
it can definitely play like a bullet hell at times, but it's really it takes the joy of playing a game like Diablo and coming up with a fun build for your character and squashes it down into a 30-minute run because you're constantly upgrading yourself. So you start out very, very weak, and by the end you are fucking decimating shit, and the enemies come in faster and faster.
So it attacks for you.
Yes.
It's almost like it's an action RPG.
But you can get things that affect the cooldown. You can get things that affect the rate. And basically, like I said, you start out slow and weak.
It's like Destiny, kind of, right? In a kind of a way? No?
No.
Okay, because that you build up.
It's absolutely nothing like Destiny.
I mean, that's the first one, but it's the same sort of, you build up.
This is a top-down game.
I know, but in terms of the concept that you're building up your...
No, like I'm saying, this is very quick, and it just lasts for one run. You get 30 minutes. It's an arcade game. It's nothing like Destiny. There's no big world, no nothing. You just constantly, like I said, it's more like Diablo. You're constantly upgrading your weapons and your skills, but you're doing it in a 30-minute time span.
And you're moving
instead
around,
of stretching.
you're evading, you're attacking.
Yeah. And it's incredibly fun. I have like...
It looks interesting.
I have like... it's my game of the year, easily. I've put like 70 hours into it.
Wow. Okay.
And it just came out free for iPhone. That's the other thing. The guy charges $5 for the game. He just put out the full game for free on iPhone.
Oh.
He has a DLC coming out on the 15th for $1.99.
Is it ad supported on phone?
I have no idea. Hopefully.
I was gonna say, how is it supported?
Dude needs to be making money because his game's fucking great and everyone loves it. And like, he's not monetizing it at all. Who knows? Maybe he's rich. Maybe it's just a fun project for him.
Well, I mean, the word of mouth, $5 cheap. I mean, you can sell 100,000 of them.
And he puts it on sale for $2.99. Like, I got it when the game came out.
Free advertising here. There you go.
Fucking amazing.
All right, next. Oh, for me, real quick, that was fun. Anytime I play NBA Jam and it's done, visceral, like that was really a good experience.
Yep.
Hey, Pat and Ian, it's Mike from Massachusetts. It's been a while. Anyway, curious about your thoughts regarding Nintendo 64 game prices. Seems like they're kind of staying the same they were with the retro game spike. They're not falling, which you would expect after people get sick of the hype. Even sealed game prices seem to be remaining quite high. So I'm curious for your thoughts on that. Love the show. Keep up the good work.
Does price charting have, what site used to have like the average cart per console price? It tracked like the average. Was there one that used to do that?
I don't know.
I'm looking at prices N64 games.
This isn't meant to sound mean to Mike, but I honestly, one of the things that I've loved most about not working at Luna is that I no longer have to fucking keep track of game prices.
I'm looking at price charting, like,
so I can't say much.
Is like $65 for Carmageddon? Is that what it was historically? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, because that's one of those like completionist games I'd look up to see. Well, yeah, it's come down. I mean, everything peaked. It looks like in the pandemic.
Yes.
So like it's come down, but it's still, let's see, it used to be $90. Now it's $65. So everything's tailed off a little bit, but not everything.
No.
I think you told me that Sega Saturn keeps
going up.
Yeah. But N64, maybe all the completionists got in and out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the sort of thing. So you see someone's game like, who the fuck's going to buy Carmageddon unless you want to...
Right, they're games
unless
that...
you're a fucking masochist.
We've talked about it before. There's tons of those games on the NES that have gone down in price because no one cares about them anymore.
Yeah, no one needs King Neptune's Adventure.
Right.
No one, I mean, it's actually not it's a cute little game, but I mean, like, no one's going to say, I finally remember that game to go out and play it next. Threw shade at King Neptune's Adventure. Wow.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Chris Bucci from Pennsylvania.
Chris!
How's it going?
Howdy, buddy.
Hey, somebody called not too long ago, and they actually said to you that they have a ritual where every single year they try to choose a genre of game that they normally don't play, and they'll try to pick some games in that genre. That kind of stuck with me for some reason. I thought, that's a really great idea to sort of challenge yourself or do something out of your comfort zone. So my question to you is, with the new year coming up here, if you guys could both do that, if you could choose a genre that you normally don't play and say, next year I'm going to tackle that one, which one would it be, and what games would you play to sort of introduce yourselves or reintroduce yourselves to that particular genre of game. And that's it. Hey, guys, have a great holiday.
Thanks, Chris. Best of luck on the long haul trucking. It sounds like you're on a CP radio for some reason. 10-4, big buddy. We love Chris Bucci.
Yeah.
Turbo Views.
I don't spend a lot of time on FPS games.
Okay.
But I do play some, Doom and whatnot. I've been getting better at it. When I started playing Splatoon, I started getting a lot better with twin stick aiming. Granted, that's third person, but I found it carried over to other stuff. I might try to play a few more of those this year. I might. But honestly, anything AAA. Your basic third person AAA action game, I've touched like none of that shit in the past 4 years. So maybe this year, especially if I end up getting a PS5.
God of War?
God of War.
All right.
I'll do both of the God of War reboots.
I would probably go back to real-time strategy games. They're kind of like soothing to me in a way.
I love them, but I'm so bad at them. Real time, anyway, specifically.
So I'd go back to Warcraft, and I played StarCraft, but like so long ago, and Command and Conquer, like the old stuff. Like that's the stuff I cut my teeth on PC gaming on a lot of those things, like real time strategy.
Right.
But I haven't played them forever. There's something to be said for the combination of action and planning versus just Civilization, where it's slow.
Right.
It's slow, and you know what you're doing. And
I like that. I like to sit there with a little whiskey. I like to sit there with a little whiskey and play
Civ.
Play Civ.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a sipping game.
Civilization's not twitchy.
No.
Real-time strategies are a little bit of twitchiness, but not overly twitchy. But you still have to be twitchy to command your individual units.
Right.
But it's a good balance there. Next.
Hey guys, this is Ian from St. Louis. So I just watched that H Bomber guy video about Tommy Tallarico, and I got a great idea. If you guys play this audio, which I produced on your podcast, I can then say that I worked hand in hand with you two for 5 years as your chief audio director. So that would be great. I'll even cut you in a little bit on the royalties. Thanks, guys.
I don't want to punch down, but the people that Tom was interviewing with on YouTube, on podcasts, when he said this shit, not one person said, "Wait a minute, you worked 5 years, like you worked like daily? You worked daily with Miyamoto doing sound
5 years.
5 years in a game that wasn't in. No one clicked that. Like, wait a minute, that game wasn't even being worked on for 5 years. Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is exactly like it's just a flat out. It's a flat out ridiculous assertion. Yeah.
No one said, "Are you sure?" Like, no one said, "Are you sure about that?" Or everyone's just nodding their heads in the H-Bomb. Yeah, that sounds good.
5 years.
5 years hand in hand, meaning like you're on the fucking phone with Miyamoto in Japan doing a gun sound effect or a laser beam sound effect. Fucking ridiculous.
And he spends a lot of time squeezing and shrinking the sound files. It's like,
we do compression, we do EQ it like this, and then
we spent hours on that sound effect. He said that he literally fucking said they spent hours on the oof sound effect.
Hi Pat, hi Ian. I'm Greg from France, so sorry for my shitty accent. I really like the collectors who focus their interest into niche collections, such as the non-game Famicom cartridges with manufacturing defects, cartridges with names handwritten on them, or obscure consoles that nobody care about. These collections are generally, not always, but generally cheaper, under the radar of resellers and second-hand market. What's your opinion on that? And have you already been amazed by finding out a new obscure kind of collection? Cheers.
You don't run into too often in video games for like error stuff or misprints, because there are not a lot of like label misprints out there. You can collect variants. I have almost every NES variant. I think I discovered I was missing one the other day. I was like, oh, that's surprising. Not a collector mistake. I just didn't realize it. But it's not, as a person who's done it, it's not interesting to someone else, in my opinion, to say, hey, I have every game for the console. I think that wears off because it just shows you have an insane dedication and time and money to do it. You're not curating it all.
Right, exactly. Curation is the important part, and it makes your collection more interesting.
There's no story to tell by saying, everyone loves it. Like our pal Joe DeRosa, comedian, came over. He loved looking at the wall, but for me, it's just blank. I don't have a lot of like subset collections, but I have some. I want to say about half of the PlayStation long boxes, but I picked those up cheap when I've seen them. I'm not going to go out and buy the super rare ones. I have like Doom. I think the Resident Evil one's worth money. But like I picked those up cheap like 10 years ago. We'll have to swap me probably. So like that to me is interesting. But I've actually thought about it. I thought about dumb things like, what if I got all the Famicom games that have the little light thing, LED at the top? Those are probably cheap. They probably didn't make a huge amount. I was like, I don't know.
I think those are mostly IREM games.
Like that's a stupid thing, right?
Scoon does it.
Excitebike, doesn't Excitebike do that?
Holy Diver does it. I don't think Excitebike does. But
Anyway,
look.
So there's like Famicom stuff like that because Famicom had all the different colors.
Yeah.
Famicom had like Famicom was more interesting, I think, because of that. They have some weird.
All
shit
the
like
colors
that.
were so cool.
So, but NES is just all gray. It's not interesting. Any for you? You think about any niche sort of thing?
I mean, I already do. I love collecting mahjong games. I mean, that's pretty neat.
I did think about getting all the Chase HQ games.
I collect mahjong games, and then I collect the Cooking Mama games. I've got all of those too.
I thought about getting every Chase HQ game because I'm fascinated by the concept. It's just and there was an arcade game I told you about that was a side-scrolling running gun shooter, which I never heard of. It's in an arcade. It's probably very rare.
Who card version of Chase HQ is fucking miserable.
I don't remember it too much.
Bad.
There was a Famicom one too, I think. That would have been a nice NES game if it came out here. I would have loved it.
All right, we can do like one or two more. I got to get home and get ready for work.
Music track, In the Arms of an Angel. Did you know for only 16 cents a day or $4.99 a month, you too can feed 2 maybe struggling podcasters? You know you'll get the good bits. Or if you double it to 32 cents a day, you too can be a part of the Pen Club. Remember, kids, credit card and your parents' permission is required, and this offer is not available on GeoCities.
We'll show Ian being teary in his hoodie. I'll be in a cage.
Yeah.
Those
Jesus.
commercials are the worst. You want to just kill yourself watching those commercials. They're the most they work. It's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
God, poor animals.
As far as I can tell, Excitebike does not have a light.
I have a couple I thought that have it, but whatever. I mean, a couple other ones. 10-yard fight, IREM. That's the one I was going to do.
Oh, it's IREM. Yeah. So there you go.
So why did they do that? It's cool though. It's just a little
neat.
LED.
Yeah.
Do a couple more.
Hey Pat, hey Ian. This is Max calling from Edison, New Jersey. Now that the holiday season is upon us, do you have any good video game memories with your siblings or family members? Growing up, I played Star Fox on the GameCube with my brother, and I showed my little sister Pong on the Atari 2600 not all that long ago. Thanks, guys.
I have loads of them. My favorite one, though, I'll mention because it happened very shortly after Christmas, was I was a kid. We got the NES for Christmas. One of those gifts that was definitely my parents, I think, wanted it as much as were interested in it as much as I was. And it was still Christmas break, and I remember going to bed, and I remember my mom came in and woke me up at like 1:30 in the morning, and she was like, come here, you got to see this. And my dad and her were sitting bleary-eyed in the living room, and I don't know, they must have reset the game because they were like, we got to show you what we found. And they showed me the first Warp Zone.
Whoa.
And that's a memory that sticks out in my head just because they were so excited. And I always think, especially at the time, like for kids, we're like, yeah, this is awesome. But for like, my two parents in their mid-20s experiencing games like this with that kind of freedom, after Atari and shit like that, must have been pretty fucking cool to like, especially because they found that without, looking at guides. Like that early era where you find these secrets without guides or anything like that. It kind of gives you this, and it did for me at the time too when I was a kid. It's magic. It gives you this picture of, and it's true, of games being this wide open thing that you can do anything with, and there's just a world of secrets out there.
I think Super Mario Brothers, for that and other reasons, is actually underrated. The first one, it could be actually an underrated game for when you think about how much it did that was original.
Oh, I don't underrate it. It's still I still pop that game on and hit start, and I'll play it until I'm done.
It's a 5-star game.
It's an amazing game.
Okay, we'll do one more.
One more.
This is a holiday one, so I got to fit it in here.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, Pat and Ian. This is Michael from Michigan. This question is for the both of you. What is a video game you received as a Christmas present? You were very excited to play, but then started playing it and you were very disappointed with.
I did a video about all the video games I got for Christmas a couple years ago. It came out. If you haven't seen that Pat the Aliens Punk video. We can go through that right now, actually.
I remember getting RC Pro-Am for Christmas.
Okay.
And being excited to play it and absolutely
You didn't like it?
hating it. I think RC Pro-Am is a fun game, and I like it more today.
Oh, I did not like it as a kid. It was tough as a kid.
No, as a kid, I spent my entire every time I played RC Pro-Am, I just rode the fucking edge. Like I as a kid, that game got no play. As an adult, I definitely enjoy it more, and I think RC Pro-Am 2 is genuinely pretty fucking good.
2?
Yeah.
Well, it has multiplayer, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit less skiddy on the controls, a little bit.
It controls a little bit better, and it's just smoother all around.
It has little hills and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I love RC Pro-Am 2.
So let's see. So I start my story with Christmas like 87. So I was excited for Akari Warriors, but then you don't know any better. It's one of the first NES games. I can't remember if that's actually the first NES game I actually played out of the 3 of Super Mario Brothers, Spy Hunter, because I played Spy Hunter in the arcade. I told you the sit down one was in Starport.
We had the sit down one at our local Major Magics.
If I ever get my own arcade, I'm getting a sit down Spy Hunter. Like, that's a great machine. Okay.
Yeah.
But Akari Warriors, I loved that game as a kid, but I don't remember playing it that much. But I remember that's one of the ones I played.
Right.
And I probably never even realized you can twist the knob as a kid. I probably just went back and forth because you don't know. You're a kid. You know. So that was a disappointment looking back. That was bad. TV sports hockey, I was very excited for the TurboGrafx 16. I thought to myself, well, it looks better than Blades of Steel. It looks better than ice hockey.
It's where you learn that looks aren't everything.
It's not horrible, but it's very average.
I don't think any of those games, the TV sports games, are too bad. Like
football's a little bit.
Yeah, football, but okay. Baseball or whatever they called it, pretty good. It's just boring looking.
Well, World Class Baseball.
World Class Baseball. You're right. That's not.
That was a Family Stadium game, I believe, or in that family. It was in that Japanese. That was an offshoot.
Okay,
that wasn't TV sports. There was a TV sports baseball. We didn't.
No, I know it wasn't TV sports, but I don't think it was Famista. World Series Baseball was it called?
No, that was on the Genesis World Series. There was
the one on the
World Class Baseball.
World Class. Okay.
Yes, that was a Japanese one as well. I forget what it was called. So I was disappointed in that, for sure. What else was I disappointed by? Did I just realize I had an error? I had an error in my
video.
Oh boy. No, I didn't. I did not. I thought I got POW not at Christmas. That was a gift. No, I was satisfied with POW as an arcade port. It wasn't the arcade. It didn't have 2 players. But I thought it was a good game. Good port for what it was.
I thought it was fun. My buddy rented it once and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
So that was disappointing. TV sports hockey was not as good and I forced myself to like it. I got the Sega Master System 2 and Rampage. I believe I can't remember if Rampage was at the same time. No, it wasn't. The Sega Master System 2 was disappointing just because at that point I didn't realize how dead the system was.
Right.
And like Toys R Us wasn't even carrying the games anymore.
Yeah, we're kids. We're not covering this shit. We don't know. We just expect it to be out there forever.
And then obviously Alex Kidd in Miracle World is probably like I had to play that game because that's all I had until I got
that was a disappointing game.
And Rampage is disappointing as a concept, as a game.
Yes,
for sure.
That's a great concept. It's horribly executed.
And I guess staying on the hockey ones, I don't know any better. Stanley Cup hockey is a disappointment on Super Nintendo. Stanley Cup hockey is like, I played it because that's what I had.
It's a neat idea, but horribly executed.
It's way too slow of a game.
So World Class Baseball was its own thing. It wasn't part of another series, but it was developed by Hudson Soft in Japan.
Okay. Did it come out there? I mean, it came out there, but it wasn't part of a series?
No,
okay.
No, it's its own thing.
That's interesting. You think that would be part of a series of how it looks. You know, they would have carried it over.
Yeah, it looks nice.
No, that's fun. Yeah. Out of all those standard sports games, that one's the best. That's better than probably TV sports basketball is bad. Taking it to the hoop's pretty good. I'd take it to the hoop.
Oh, I never played that one.
You never played that one? It's cartoony, different attributes, characters. So anyway, the hockey games disappointed me. But to learn more about this, check out Video Game Christmas Gifts from 2 years ago, Pat the NES Punk video. During the pandemic, I did that.
I might have to get this, taking it to the hoop.
Oh, Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge was definitely disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like I got worse at picking these games as I got older after I was 10 years old. I got worse at picking them, for sure.